The Korean fried chicken sandwich might just be the greatest chicken sandwich of all time, and you can make it right at home. And yes, I know there are many different ways to make this sandwich. This version might not be 100% traditional, but it's the version that I've been making at home for over a year now, and it is delicious. The first step is going to be brining your chicken. I'm using chicken thighs for this recipe. I think the chicken thighs work the absolute best with fried chicken sandwiches. A lot of people like breast, but I'm a thigh man myself. What do you guys like? Comment below. So filmed on this very poor quality iPhone footage, I brined mine in 1 cup of buttermilk, a whole egg, and some kosher salt. I whisked it together, dropped my chicken thighs in, I covered it in plastic wrap, and I brined it overnight, which is what I recommend. At least 2 to 3 hours, but overnight works the best. And as far as amounts go, this recipe, especially the sauce, will make up to 4 sandwiches, so you guys can quadruple this recipe if you want. I'm only going to be using 1 chicken thigh for the video. You can make it to 4 sandwiches, which I recommend because these are delicious. You're not going to be able to stop at 1, I promise you. After the chicken, we're gonna make some slaw. Now, I know a lot of people don't like slaw. I love it. I think it adds a really, really nice balance of freshness and acidity to this sandwich. You don't have to put it on there if you don't want to, but I promise you, you're gonna be missing out on a ton on this sandwich if you don't add it. Also, just a shameless little plug. If you guys wanna get 15% off of any of the Cooking Guild knives, I am affiliated with them. I do get paid to say this. I love these knives. I wouldn't work with them if I didn't love them. You guys can follow the link in my description box to get 15% off using my link. So use it if you want. If you do, love you. If not, I still love you. First step, I'm gonna be using some red cabbage. I'm gonna peel this first outer layer off. As you can see, it's kind of nasty and all fucked up. Peel this off, plus you don't know what grubby little hands were all over this at Walmart or the supermarket or wherever you get your cabbage. Peel that shit off. There we go, nice and clean. Now for this, we're gonna be making some very, very thin slices of cabbage. It's maybe a little sacrilegious, but I like to kind of like mince mine up as well, just to get real small pieces. We're gonna do the same with some green cabbage. There you go. Smells like farts, tastes pretty good. And next, a washed, way above average carrot. This thing is huge. I don't think anybody likes it this big. It's real sketchy down here at the bottom. I about just cut my finger. Holy shit. Beautiful. Into the slaw. Next up, we're gonna go in with some mayo. I'm using QP mayo. If you know, you know, this is the shit. Probably the best mayo you could ever use for this recipe. Next, a whole shitload of green onions. You can really use as many as you want. I like a lot of green onions in my slaw. I might use the green onion greens and the whites of the green onions. Maybe give those like a rough mince or rough chop so they're smaller. Again, this is all personal preference. Just get the ingredients in there and make it however you wanna make it because you're the one that's gonna be eating this. I love green onions, but I don't want like a big chunk of green onion in my slaw. You know what I mean? Jax, bro. Green onions into the bowl. Shout out Daniel, I love you. Next, a little bit of acid. I'm gonna be using some white distilled vinegar because that's what I have. I'd really like to use some like red wine vinegar is my favorite, but you can probably use about any acid you want. You can use vinegar, you can use lemon juice, just something that you enjoy. Some vinegar that's gonna kind of spice it up. A little salt, a little PP, and mix. It's not too shabby. I'll take it. Give it a taste test. Delicious. Season to taste with salt and pepper and set this in the fridge until you're ready to use it. Next up, the sauce, which is probably the most important part of this entire sandwich. Now the sauce is where I've seen people do this recipe differently. This is a version of a sauce that I found over a year ago, and I've made countless sandwiches with it and Korean fried chicken nuggets, and it slaps every single time. It's so good. I meant to get gochujang paste and not sauce, but this still worked pretty well. You're gonna combine all sauce ingredients except for the grated garlic and the rice vinegar in a small sauce pot, whisk until combined and heat over a medium heat until the sugar is melted and it comes to a gentle simmer. Let this simmer for like 4 to 5 minutes, and when it's done, you're gonna cut the heat, grate in all of your garlic, and add the rice vinegar, whisk to combine, and set aside. All ingredients and all amounts and everything will be in the description box below. So before we fry the chicken, I'm gonna preheat some high heat cooking oil on the stove first so it's ready when I wanna use it. Next, the dredge. I'm using 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 3/4 of a cup of cornstarch, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika, and MSG if you got some. Shout out Uncle Roger. Season the shit out of this so your chicken tastes good. Mix to combine. Next, add drops of the buttermilk marinade to the dredge. This will give the chicken some nice crispy bits when it fries, and that's exactly what you want. Drop in the dredge, press down, and cover everything. There should be no wet spots on the chicken when you fry it. Now that our chicken is breaded, we're gonna be shallow frying in some high heat cooking oil. As you guys saw, shout out Graza, I love you. They sent me this bottle of their new high heat cooking oil, and it's delicious. So deep frying scares the living shit out of me. That's why I'm shallow frying this. I've seen too many videos of people's houses lighting on fire and shit, so I'm not doing that. There's like maybe 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch of oil in the bottom of this pan. We're gonna fry this for 6 to 8 minutes per side until the internal temperature reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit and the outside is crispy and golden brown. Chicken's done. We're gonna go into a cooling rack and immediately season with just a little bit of kosher salt. While the chicken's still wet, oh my God, so wet. Finally, we're gonna toast our buns in a pan over medium heat with some butter until it's golden brown and crispy. Always toast your buns. I promise you it's gonna make this sandwich 10 times better. Now, before we build the sandwich, we're gonna toss the chicken in the sauce that we made earlier. Make sure to coat everything. Flip, give it a toss. I kind of burned the underside of this a little bit, but it's still gonna taste good. It's not perfect, it's fine, man. I never claimed to be a chef. I'm just a guy that likes to cook food in my house, you know what I'm saying? So there's gonna be some fuck ups along the way, and guess what? It's okay. It's okay. Let's make a sandwich. I'm hungry. First, your bottom toasted bun. As much slaw as you want, pickles, your perfectly breaded and saucy boy chicken thigh, more slaw if you want, and your top toasted bun. Simply gorgeous. It almost brings a tear to my eye. Taste test. Finally. This is a perfect sandwich. One of my favorites of all time. You guys gotta make this. I fucking love sandwiches, as you guys can probably tell, and here in the near future, there may or may not, there probably will be, a series where I'm gonna be trying and rating the world's top most famous sandwiches, giving you guys a little history lesson about each one, because they're from all over the world, so if that's something you guys would be interested in, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to chew with your mouth closed, you sick bastards, and subscribe. I love you. Bye.